Welcome back to DOT Operating Authority YouTube channel. Last time we discussed HUT, and today we are going to dive deeper into the different criteria that certain states have in place for the highway use as well as fuel tax. Let's start with New York. Before operating a motor vehicle on the public highways of New York State, you must obtain a certificate of registration and decals for each motor vehicle subject to the highway use tax. Taxable motor vehicles are trucks, tractors, or other self-propelled devices having a gross weight in excess of 18,000 pounds, trucks having an unloaded weight in excess of 8,000 pounds, or tractors having an unloaded weight in excess of 4,000 pounds. The tax is based on mileage traveled on New York State public highways and is calculated at a rate determined by the weight of the motor vehicle. Every motor carrier subject to the highway use tax must keep daily records of the miles traveled in New York by each vehicle. If you do not comply with the highway use tax law, the tax department may deny you a certificate of registration to operate a motor vehicle in New York State, or suspend or revoke your certificate for any violation of the provisions of the highway use tax. If you operate a motor vehicle in New York State occasionally, you can get a trip certificate of registration instead of registering, obtaining a decal, and filing HUT returns. Number 2, New Mexico. The New Mexico weight distance tax permit is required for commercial vehicles having a declared gross weight or gross vehicle weight of 26,000 pounds or greater. As the name implies, the tax is based on mileage traveled on New Mexico highways at a rate determined by the weight of the vehicle. Every operator must register for a New Mexico weight distance tax permit each year, every year. Also, a quarterly tax return filing must be done to avoid penalties. Do note, a vehicle listed in New Mexico that is subject to the weight distance tax and traveling intrastate is issued a weight distance plate along with the IRP plate. We are absolutely going to discuss the different license plate types in our future episodes, so stay tuned for that. Number 3, Kentucky. If you operate vehicles weighing more than 60,000 pounds that travel through Kentucky, you must obtain a KYU number or file the Kentucky weight distance tax. Before Kentucky issues the number, a few things must be checked to make sure your company is properly registered. First, your USDOT number must be listed as an interstate carrier. Second, if you are for hire, you must have an active MC number. Finally, you must have a current UCR, Unified Carrier Registration, for your company. Carriers who do not operate outside of Kentucky will be issued a Kentucky Intrastate Tax, KIT, license. Note, the state mandates that carriers file tax each quarter regardless of whether they have traveled to Kentucky during that period or not. The quarterly reports are due the last day of the month following the end of the quarter. Carriers who have failed to file will lose their KYU license if their taxes are not paid immediately. Cancellation of the KYU license will require carriers to pay a failure to file fee and post a bond to reinstate their license. Number 4, Oregon. If you follow our videos, you must remember IFTA, the International Fuel Tax Agreement between U.S. states and Canadian provinces. Oregon has its own fuel tax requirement outside of IFTA. When a truck purchases fuel in Oregon, they are responsible for paying the fuel tax and obtaining an Oregon Carrier File Number, aka ORPUC. PUC stands for Public Utilities Commission, which is the governmental regulatory agency that handles these filings. Together, the two make up the Oregon Trip Permit. It must be obtained regardless of having your IFTA if the vehicle's gross weight is over 26,000 pounds and/or has 3 axles, the vehicle does not have registration or appropriate plates or they're expired, or Oregon does not appear on the registration cab card. The state gives you the choice. You either pay the fuel tax monthly or quarterly. This permit can't be used for motorhomes or tow recovery vehicles. The Oregon PUC trip permit will be issued after some of the following requirements are met. Verification of public liability and property damage insurance and/or indemnity bond may be required at the discretion and in the amounts determined by the granting authority. Must carry minimum insurance of $750, $510 for all ICC carriers. Keep in mind that except for Oregon, the 3 states we talked about require you to file tax returns. It's mandatory. Make sure you do it on time and properly. Better yet, have DOT Operating Authority help you. This might sound overwhelming, but at DOT Operating Authority, all your permits can be obtained in a day. All your returns can be filed in an hour. Don't wait to call us for assistance. Thank you for watching. See you next time.